Welcome back to the Path of Steel. This is Randy. This week's video is going to be on step number 2. Now, the original step number 2 from the AA 12 steps is that we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. I believe step number 3 went along the lines of made a decision to allow God to come into our lives, to relinquish our lives to God, to the care of God, something along those lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do step number 2 and step number 3 here. For my 12-step program, I basically did the opposite of this. I said that step number 2 is to accept that God does not interfere in our lives if God in fact exists. It's pretty much impossible for me to talk about this subject with you guys without talking about religious beliefs and theism and things like that. The last thing I want for this channel to become is a place to challenge people's beliefs in religion. I don't really care about doing that at all. I've never really liked religion. I was raised in the Catholic faith. There's a lot of things about Catholicism that I don't like. And I could talk about all of that, but I'm not going to. It's just not really relevant to this at all. The one thing I want to stress is that if you guys are extremely religious people, anybody of you watching, I'm not challenging your faith, I'm not challenging your beliefs. If you guys want to have those discussions below, go ahead, but I'm not going to get involved in that. What's most important to me is that I offer an avenue to helping people who are like me that don't believe that God will interfere in your life. Now, I see, a lot of people that believe in prayer, but I see a lot of people praying for things that don't happen for them. And I see a lot of people getting things happening in their life that don't pray for them. And it doesn't seem to me, and I think this has been statistically shown, that prayer really has much of an effect on anything at all, and other than maybe I know that people who do a lot of praying have much greater there's some health benefits involved, but it turns out it's, from what it looks like, that the health benefits from prayer are mostly due to the same health benefits you get from meditation, because prayer does put you into a quasi-meditative state. And so from my perspective, really, why not just meditate? It's much more useful, it's much more helpful, it gets you directly to the thing that helps you. But if you're getting that same benefit from prayer, then that's great, and you should keep doing that. But I reject the notion that God is like a helicopter mom who's going to come and help us in our lives. We live in a very dangerous universe where there's a lot of terrible things that happen to both good and bad people, and you have to protect yourself and you have to provide for yourself. And that's what step number 3 is for me, is that accept that you have to provide your own life. You have to create your own life. Now for some people, they'll view this as a negative way of looking at things, that we're somehow disconnected from God, who is this caretaker of us. But really, the way I look at it is, if God does exist, and if this is the way he created things, well then that's actually a tremendous gift, because that allows us to have the freedom to create our own destiny however we want. We're not just playing out some video cassette of our fate. We actually have destiny that we control, that we can create our own reality. And so when it comes to handling your ability to create your own reality and create a reality that's healthy and good for you, you actually have this power to get rid of the control of addiction or anything else, really, for that matter. You have the control to do that. You just have to take the actions that lead to that. And it's up to you to do it. It really is. At the end of the day, even if you're in a traditional 12-step program, you still have to show up to those meetings. You still have to go through those 12 steps. You still have to write down all of your flaws and then admit them to people, and all the things that you're supposed to do within a 12-step program. You have to take those actions in order for it to work. You can't just believe in the 12-step program and sit around and pray and then get fixed that way. You actually have to do that work. So really, at the end of the day, they're not saying anything that's technically from like a day-to-day, work-a-day aspect any different from what I'm saying. You have to take the action in your life. You have to make these changes for yourself. And you do have the power to do it. So I would suggest not asking God for anything. You know, if you believe in God, just be thankful for your existence and thankful for this amazing world and universe that we live in. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for it whether or not God exists. And live your life the best way you can. That starts today. You know, it starts every day. Every day is the day you start doing that. And each day is new. Live it the best way you can. And anyway, I think next week I'm not going to go on with the steps. We'll keep doing the steps later, but I've got a few other things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about social interaction and how really addiction is sort of a symptom almost of isolation. And that one of my paths to healing myself and being healthy in my life is to force myself out into social interaction, which has not come easy for me. It's gotten a lot better, and it's still hard. And I'm really grateful that I've done that. But anyway, that's what's going to be the subject of next week's video. Thanks for watching.